Hello, family and friends. Welcome back to my channel. This is Cynthia from Cynthia's Crafts and More. If you're new here, welcome. It's an honor to have you. Today I'm doing a reading from the Bible.com YouVersion, the Bible app. And I'm reading in the book of Leviticus. And I will be reading chapters 7, 8, and 9. Leviticus chapter 7. These are the rules for most holy offering. A person must be sorry for the wrong things that he has done. That person must obey these rules. The priest must kill an animal at the north side of the altar. He must throw the blood onto the sides of the altar. The priest will bring all the fat from the tail and the inside parts to the altar. He will bring the kidneys and the best piece of the liver. Then he will burn the pieces on the altar. They are a gift to the Lord, to make a person clean from sin. Aaron's sons can eat the meat that is not burnt. They must eat it in a holy place because it is most holy. The rules are the same for sacrifices for sin and for a person who is sorry for his sins. The gifts of meat are for the priest who brings them to the altar. The skin of the animal is for the priest. People may give gifts of grain that they cook in an oven or on a flat plate. They should give them all to the priest. Grain that is dry is also a gift, and grain that a man mixes with oil is also a gift. They should give them to Aaron's sons. The friendship offering. These rules are for friendship offerings to the Lord. If a man wants to thank God, he must give an animal and flat loaves of bread. He must mix the flour for the bread with oil. He must not mix the flour with yeast. He must also give other loaves of bread to God. He must make these with flour, oil, and yeast. A man must offer one of each kind of loaf to the Lord. These belong to the priest who throws the blood on the altar. The person must not keep the meat from the animal until the next day. He must eat it on the day that he offers it. The gift to God may be a promise. The gift may be because the person loves God. That person will not have to eat it all the same day. He can eat some of it on the next day. On the third day, there may still be some meat that he has not eaten. If there is, he must burn it. If the person eats the meat on the third day, God will not accept the gift. The meat is not good. The person who eats it will not give God pleasure. Some meat may touch something that is not clean. Nobody should eat the meat. People must burn it. Only a clean person can eat the meat that is a gift to God. A person who is not clean might eat the friendship offering to the Lord. If he doesn't, they must send him away from Israel's people. A person might touch something that is not clean. He must not eat the meat of the offering to the Lord. That person must not eat if he has touched an unclean animal or an unclean person. If he does eat it, they must send him away. They must send him away from Israel's people. Israel's people must not eat blood or fat. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Israel's people this: they must not eat the fat from sheep, goats, or cows. A person can use the fat of a dead animal that he has found, but he must not eat it. They must not eat the fat of an animal that they have burnt as a gift to the Lord's altar. They must send away from God's people anyone who does eat it. You must not eat the blood of an animal or of a bird, even if you are living in another country. You must send away from Israel's people any person who eats blood. Moses tells the priests which parts of the animal they can eat. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to Israel's people, when a person gives an animal as a friendship offering, he must bring part of it to the Lord. He must carry the offering in his own hands to the fire. He must bring the fat and the meat of the ribs, and he must lift the meat to the Lord. The priest will burn the fat at the altar. He will lift the meat of the ribs to God. Then Aaron's sons can eat it. The top part of the back right leg of the animal is a gift. It is for the priest who offers the blood and the fat. The ribs and the top part of the right leg are gifts. They are from the friendship offering. God wants Aaron and his sons to have them. People must give these parts of their gifts to the priest. The Lord gave this part of the Israelites' offerings to Aaron's sons. He gave it to them on the day when they became the Lord's priests. The Lord told the Israelites that they must do this. He told them that on the day that Aaron's sons became priests, all their sons and grandsons must always give these offerings to the priests. These are the rules that a person must use. They are from when he gives a gift to God. They are the rules for offerings of grain and the friendship offering. And they are rules for the offerings that people give to take away their sin. The rules tell them how to make Aaron's sons priests. And they tell people who have done bad things what to do. They must show God that they are sorry. Israel's people were in the Sinai desert. The Lord gave the rules to Moses on Sinai mountain. That was on the day that the Lord spoke to the people. He told them that they should bring their offerings to him there. And this concludes the chapter, Leviticus chapter 7. Leviticus chapter 8. Moses anoints Aaron and his sons. The Lord said to Moses, "Fetch Aaron and his sons. Bring their special clothes. Bring the oil. Bring the basket of bread that they made without yeast. Also bring the bull for the sin offering and 2 male sheep. Cause all the people to come to the door of the tent of meeting." Moses did what the Lord said. Moses and the priests and all the people came to the door of the tent of meeting. Moses said to the people, "The Lord said that I must do this." Moses washed Aaron and his sons with water. Moses put a shirt on Aaron and tied a belt around Aaron. He put a robe and an ephod on him. He tied the ephod with its special belt. Moses put the breastpiece on Aaron, and he put the Urim and the thummim in its pocket. Moses tied a piece of linen as a hat around Aaron's head. On the front of this linen he put a plate of gold with valuable stones on it. The Lord had said that Moses must do this. Moses put some of the special olive oil on the tabernacle and on everything in it. He did this to make those things holy. Moses shook oil on the altar 7 times. He put oil on the altar table and on all the tools to use with it. He put oil on the washing dish and on the table on which it stood. Moses anointed Aaron's head with oil to make him holy. He put a robe on each of Aaron's sons. He tied cloth belts around them and cloth hats on their heads. The Lord had commanded Moses to do this. Moses brought the bull as a gift to God. Aaron and his sons put their hands on the bull's head. Moses killed the bull. He put his finger in the blood. He put the blood on the horns of the altar. That made it holy. Moses poured out the blood that he had not used. He poured it onto the floor in front of the altar. This is how he made the altar ready to make sacrifices. He burnt the fat and the kidneys and the best piece of the liver on the altar. Moses burnt the meat with the inside parts and the skin of the bull outside the camp. The Lord had said that Moses must do this. Moses brought a male sheep to burn as a gift to God. Aaron and his sons put their hands on the sheep's head. Moses killed the sheep. He threw the blood onto the sides of the altar. Moses cut the sheep into small pieces. He burnt the fat and the head and the pieces on the altar. He washed the legs and the inside parts. He burnt them on the altar as an offering to the Lord. The smell of them while they were burning gave the Lord pleasure. The Lord had said that Moses must do this. Moses brought the other male sheep. It was a gift. It showed that God had chosen Aaron's family to become his priest. Aaron and his sons put their hands on the sheep's head. Moses killed the sheep. He put some of its blood on Aaron's right ear. He also put blood on the thumb of Aaron's right hand. And he put some on the big toe of his right foot. Moses did the same to Aaron's sons. Then he threw blood on all the sides of the altar. Moses took the fat tail and the fat and the kidneys from inside the animal. He took the best piece of the liver from inside the animal. He took the top part of the right back leg. Moses took 2 flat loaves of bread that they had made without yeast and a biscuit. He took them from the basket that was in front of the Lord. One of the loaves had oil in it. He put them on top of the fat and the leg. Moses gave them to Aaron and to his sons. They lifted them up as a special gift to the Lord. Moses took the special gift from them and he burnt it on the altar. The smell of it while it was burning gave the Lord pleasure. Moses took part of the animal and the meat of the ribs, and he lifted it up to the Lord. The Lord had said that Moses must do this. Moses took some of the oil and some of the blood from the altar. He shook them on Aaron and his sons. He also shook them from the blood and some of the oil on their clothes. He did that to make them holy. Moses said to Aaron and to his sons, "Cook the meat at the door of the tent of meeting. Eat the meat with the bread in the basket by the door of the tent of meeting. Burn the meat and bread that you do not eat. You must stay at the door of the tent for 7 days. This will make you holy. You must stay for 7 days to become holy. The Lord said that you must do this to atone for your sin. Remember that you must stay at the door of the tent of meeting. You must stay there for 7 days and 7 nights. The Lord told me that you must do this. If you do not obey him, you will die." So Aaron and his sons did everything that the Lord had told Moses. And this concludes Leviticus chapter 8. Leviticus chapter 9. The priests begin their work. On the 8th day, Moses told Aaron and his sons and the leaders of Israel they must come. He said to Aaron, "Bring a young bull for your sin offering, and bring a male sheep for your burnt offering. They must be perfect to give to the Lord." Moses said to Aaron, "Tell Israel's people that they must bring a male goat for a sin offering, and they must bring a young cow and a young sheep. The young cow and the young sheep must be 1 year old. They must be perfect to burn as an offering. Tell Israel's people that they must bring a bull and a male sheep. They must bring them to sacrifice as a friendship offering to the Lord. They will sacrifice them. They must mix grain and oil to offer with them. They must do that because the Lord will appear to them today." The people brought all the animals and the grain to the door of the tent of meeting. Moses and the people came, and they stood at the door of the tent of meeting to worship the Lord. Moses said to the people, "The Lord has told you that you must do this. Do it, and then the Lord will show you how great he is." Moses and Aaron go to the altar. Sacrifice your sin offering and your burnt offering to the Lord. You must do that to pay for your sins and those of the people. Then sacrifice the people's gift. The offerings are an atonement for the bad things that they have done. The Lord said that you should do this. Aaron brought the young bull to the altar. He killed it. This was his offering to the Lord to atone for his sin. His sons brought the blood to Aaron. He put his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar. He poured the blood that he did not use onto the floor in front of the altar. Aaron burnt the fat, the kidneys, and the piece of the liver on the altar as a sin offering. He did it as the Lord had told Moses. He took the meat and on the skin from the young bull. Sorry, my finger jumped and hit the Oh, shoot. Where was I? Apologize. Uh, yeah, I'm just going to restart at chapter or verse 10. I know I was a little bit further than that, but Aaron burnt the fat, the kidney, and the best piece of the liver on the altar as a sin offering. He did it as the Lord had told Moses. He took the meat and the skin from the young bull outside the camp, and he burnt it. Aaron brought the male sheep for the burnt offering to the altar. He killed it. His sons brought the blood to him. He threw the blood onto the sides of the altar. The priest gave the pieces of the animal, including the head, to Aaron. Aaron burnt them on the altar. He washed the inside parts and the legs. He burnt them on the altar on top of the burnt offering. Aaron brought the goat. This was a people's sacrifice to God. Aaron killed it, and he burnt it on the altar. It was an offering to atone for the people's sin. He offered the sacrifice in the same way as the first sacrifice for sin. Aaron brought the young cow over. Excuse me. Aaron brought the other young cow. He killed it and he burnt it on the altar. He did it as Moses had told him. He also brought the grain offering. He took some of it and burnt it on the altar. He burnt it with the morning sacrifice. Aaron killed the bull and the male sheep. These were friendship offerings from the people. The priest brought the blood to him. He threw it onto the sides of the altar. Aaron took the fat tail, the fat and the kidneys, and the best piece of the liver. He put them on the meat of the animal's ribs. Then he burnt the fat on the altar. Aaron lifted up the meat as an offering to the Lord. Moses had told him that he must do this. When Aaron had finished burning the gifts, he lifted up his hands over the people. He had sacrificed the sin offering. He burnt the burnt offering and the friendship offering. Then he asked God to do good things for people, and Aaron came down from the altar. Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting. When they came out, they asked God to do things for the people. They brought the light from the Lord appeared to the people to show how great he is. Then the Lord sent a fire to show that he accepted the gifts. It completely burnt all the fat and the offerings that were on the altar. The people were very happy when they saw this. They shouted and they fell down on their faces to the ground. And this concludes Leviticus chapter 9. I hope you've enjoyed this reading and that you will come back tomorrow for more of the book of Leviticus. Sorry about that. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, and blessed day, and that the Lord will keep you safe, warm, dry, and healthy. And let's pray for peace and love. Until tomorrow, may God bless you. Love you guys.